Alright people, we're back again with another reaction. Today, Loza Alexander targets on target. Now, yeah, no, elephant in the room. I know Fortiogo's already dropped his one, but, you know, I'm going to check out Loza's first. Why? Because, oh man, I'm a team Loza, man. I can't, when Fortiogo and all these bastards, oh, sorry, fine, I might as well call them that because, God bless him, God bless him. But when they were saying things about Loza's mom's, you know, and she's going through her hospital issue, I'm thinking, yo, man, what's all this? Christian brothers, I thought you were Christian rappers. I thought you were holy and sanctified, but no, egos and pride comes first. Anyway, so I just have to call that out. So I'm gonna do Loza's first before I check out Fortiago, and not to mention Nick Natoli's and Fortiago. So I know some of you think he's an industry plant. And you know, I can see why. If you judge by some of his older pieces, it's not that great. But hey, you know what? Hey, I'll check out White Lives Matter after as well. I mean, maybe tomorrow. To be honest, I just maybe called in to teach a lesson or so. Oops, how's my schedule looking for today? I'm good. All right, who knows? Maybe I'll stick another one in. All right, people. Without further ado, let's check out Loza. Drop it. Oh my god. What I love about Loza the most, especially with the multiple targets and the multiple Lozas, is that he's a one-man band. You know what I'm saying? It's funny what happened to his career in that. I mean, was he always this way? I don't know. I haven't really checked out his back catalogue before when he used to hate Trump. But did he used to work with other feature artists? Because ever since he made Let's Go Brandon, one would have thought that the feature rappers would be like, hey, welcome to the camp. But no. Again, like I said, it just isolated the hell out of this dude. It was just nuts. Anyway, thank God for Maga Jackson, no matter what his backstory may be. If Fortiago can do a song with Nick Natoli, then, you know, got to give loads of props for doing a song with Maga Jackson, no matter what people may say about these guys. You know, take your features when you can get them. But loads of them, and for what it's worth, I mean, God's on his side, and he's all the way with his overcoming leukemia. I mean, God bless you, mate. Keep doing it. You're a champion, and the fact that you are a one-man band says a lot more about your tenacity than anything else. And yeah, hey, these days, maybe we can just call an AI Kanye and Trump to feature in more of your songs. Anyway, let's drop it. Oh my god. And anybody who's still working that bitch, if you clocking in and you still agree with them grooming all of our kids, that's why I keep you sticking a prayer. Take it easy, Loza. It's not everyone's fault, and I can see the wrinkle on the green screen. But hey, again, what's great about Loza is that he's got a very homemade vibe to his pieces that you can see how the magic works, but you still love it. Again, the Trump 2024 joint is another one that shows that. But fair enough, I understand. But people, who knows? I mean, some people think it's a bit over the target, if you will, or maybe that's a good thing. But some people think it's over the line to start targeting people, if you pardon the pun, or working at these places, or just trying to keep their lights on and feed their families. This is ironic, isn't it? I get, you know, you got these cowardly police who arrest pastors for exercising their First Amendment right. This is why I can't be Officer Tatum, man. Back in the blue, and he's always looking. It's like back in the blue no matter what, and he's always trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I wonder I want to check out what his comment is on the most recent story of a pastor being arrested by a nitwit cop who's very Nazi, and you know, you can't speak out against the regime, or you know what. But another take you can take of the matter is another way to look at the matter. What I'm trying to bring across, is check out the Hodge twins' reactions to the most recent I think it's trailer ad that Bud Light made to try and win people back into the fold. I think it's a black father and son. The son is a baseball player, and they got together over a Bud Light at the end. You know, there's nothing, to be honest. There's no shame in taking the money and running. It's the customers who have the choice. It's not for me to say we're not canceling Target here. The right don't cancel, the left cancel. We unsubscribe. We just don't. We diversify our excuse me, our interests, and we do not subscribe to ideology being forced on people. I'll get to where I think this leads in the end, but what I was saying about the Hodgkin's reactions is they characterize the father and the son baseball in the baseball ad as saying to themselves when they finished shooting that commercial and got home, they said, "Hey man, they gave us a free Bud Light. Please, this ain't ever gonna fix your product. It tastes like tea." Anyway, I don't know. I'm not gonna go that far, but I haven't drunk. I've never tasted Bud Light in my life, and I'm not about to start. But I haven't been to Target either. But there's no shame in taking the money and actually not believing in the product. The company, like a bit like Black Rifle Coffee. I forgot the name of the brand. I think they were. I think somebody in the Salty Cracker channel, one of the live streams, said if there's a Hodgkin, they're taking money from Black Rifle Coffee, and we all know the Black Rifle Coffee irked the right the right wing for not representing our values. It's not so it's not representing our values, but going against us, calling us names and so on unnecessarily. When they ought to be a brand that reflects our values. In which case, there's nothing wrong with that, but we just can't give them our patronage anymore. When that happens, but again, there's no shame in taking money from a company that you disagree with, as long as you don't start pressuring the customers to try and start buying from them. So again, I'm going to see where this video goes, and I'm going to give my thoughts on where I think this whole narrative goes with this boycott trending that is going on right now. All right, back to Loza. Go back. All right, let me hear it again. Oh.
Anybody who's still working that bitch. If you clocking in, then you still agree with them grooming all of our kids. That's why I keep me sticking a prayer with me all black when it's time to spend. And the administration got me fucked up the way they praising Satan in the sin. I know I curse, but I'd rather kids do that than to listen to all these pricks. They want my son to believe that Satan is good. Man, ain't that a bitch. Government wanna do all the parenting now to teach our children how to get molested. Now a bunch of fathers finna get arrested, finna hit their chest with a Smith & Wesson.
Oh, he's going for it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love Loza for this, man. You gotta love Loza for this, and like, yo, man. All right, it's like, all right, you're coming too close. And now, again, this is why I think we ought to be careful. But maybe I'll leave my ultimate comments at the end. But in this information war, where you got these idiot people who are just who are playing along with this nonsense, who are defending the Matrix because their minds are so hopelessly enamored, as the Morpheus would say, that they'd fight to protect it. People who are pushing Satanism on people on the deep state's behalf when they ought to mind their own damn business. When I say mind their business, I mean let people make their own decision. If they want to shop at Target, that's their business. If they don't, that's their business. But when you start telling people you're a bad person because you don't do what I do, but hey, believe it or not, you have the right to say that stuff. That's the whole point of the First Amendment. But when you try to actually excuse me, impose your will on people, or people who cannot, in ways that they cannot opt out of, you're just invoking like those were saying, metaphorically speaking, the Second Amendment. And if it comes to people getting physical, then yes, you're well within your right, which shall not be infringed to exercise the Second Amendment. But this whole brainwashing thing has got to stop. And people saying, trying to gaslight us and tell us, oh, you're seeing things. That's not what's happening here. People doing that, they're well within their right to tell themselves that. That's fine. But you're not using that as a means to shut us up and stop us from protecting our families. That's the whole point of this thing. You cannot use your opinion to make someone conform to so you cannot use your opinion to make someone conform to adhering to your sensibilities and ideology. You cannot. And this is what was the problem with the right. a while ago. It appeared that because, and this is what I feel the trap may be. Left and right, it's like blue pill, red pill. They say the Matrix Revolutions. You call that a choice? Which I believe, who was that girl who was the new femme fatale? She said to the Morpheus character in the Matrix movie, "You're missing the point." When you're in, excuse me, when you're in a situation where you don't like either blue or red pill, then yeah, take the white pill. The third party candidate option, if you will. But whatever you do, you must choose, or you must choose your own destiny. You may choose a representative to your voting system, or just choose to represent yourself. But in any case, don't let people make choices for you, albeit through religion, albeit through Christianity, traditional religion, or modern religions, which is left-wing politics, which is what they claim is science, but it's most unscientific, and it's just straight up bigotry. People, make decisions for yourself. We have a right to express ourselves. Whether you love Target or don't, let it end there. And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to make people stop shopping at Target, and I'm not going to make people go to Target. But one thing I'm not going to do is let people make me do that. And we are all being called to address our human spirit, our individuality, our right to be self-determining in this experience. And I determined that I do not rock with such fascism as is being sold to us to Target. That's my view. Let me know what you think, people. All right, Loza, let it rip.
Body drop, wish a nigga, what did I stutter the bitch? Sick and tired of these comics forcing everybody all on this weird shit. I won't say it cause I might get banned, and it's the type of shit we gotta fear, yeah. I got the target on target. 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 I know they love the devil. We need another shovel. We finna bury them, and we finna carry them out.
He's got very catchy hooks, doesn't he? I mean, that's one thing about Loza that beats all the other Christian rappers. If you will. His songs are actually good. Again, I'm yet to hear what Tiago's, but and you get Bryson, and the reason to keep Bryson by taking a stand against Loza in his chance when you could have joined forces with the Let's Go Brandon thing, you forever put yourself in the compare contrast column with him. You and Tyson. Anyway, but yeah, when it comes to people like those Christian rappers, a lot of their songs sound very much like Christians trying to be cool sometimes. He's like, wait a minute, Christianity is cool, and that's your opinion. Loza has a lot more freedom with how he can speak. He takes advantage of the liberal arts, which is what you've got here with these music videos these days. Liberal arts people, that's what they are. He takes full advantage of all that you can express yourself with in expressing your point to make his points very catchy. This is why his Let's Go Brandon resonated a lot more than Bryson's. No matter how you slice it, if you're being honest with yourself, I don't give a damn what anybody else says to the contrary. Numbers didn't lie in that one. But anyway, very catchy hook. But all I'm gonna say is, Loza, be careful. I'll leave my ultimate comments to the end about this whole civil war nonsense that Tim Pool keeps trying to push. Anyway.
Target on target. I got the target on target. I got the target on target. I got the target on target. I know they love the devil. We need another shovel. Cause we finna bury them. And we finna carry them out now.
Alright, man, that's awesome. Maybe you should have used black. But anyway, I gotta say, man, the green screen. I gotta say, what I love about Loza is that he leans into the limitations that he has on him while he is doing what he's doing. All the way from the Let's Go Brandon song with the many Lozas. That was such an iconic piece, man. That's going to be his legacy forever. And I'm sure he'll get another number one. I'm just really, Loza, I don't know if you want to do a reaction, do a song with somebody remotely, but boy, I'd love to be on a Trump 2024 song. Once that nomination comes through, I got me a t-shirt rated and ready. My brother gave me as a gag gift, but watch when who has a last laugh when when that comes around. Anyway, I mean, anyway.
Everywhere I go, saying this, saying that, man, I'm going crazy. Wow, everybody fake and we can't escape clown world. They wanna lay me down. Jesus, I need a breather. I might move to Geneva. People grieving in Target cause they got Satan shoes with kid sneakers. You don't call that's pieces.
Nasty.
We don't need no more of these freakers. Got the heater for them if they reach up. Got a prayer for them with a preacher. Get these demons out of these people. They wanna legalize what's illegal. They wanna groom for the pedos. They wanna turn babies into meatloaf. Damn. On fire, light on fire. No one being quiet. Everybody tired. Satan is a liar. Satan is a liar. Light on fire. Light on fire.
Target. Alright, man. Sorry, man. I was catching everything you were saying there, and normally I'd pause it because of the copyright issue thing, but I've been talking a lot, so I just thought I'd let it play for a change. Yeah, man. Going to Geneva. I'll get back to the countries that have good old sensible traditionalism, not having countries that have Satanism into kids' sneakers like that moron. Well, I don't even want to call him. I just don't. Anyway, little Loza. Oh, that guy's not even funny. He just freaked me the hell out. But one thing I love about the characters, like what's happening now, what the Patriots have done, like with Trump, by baiting the creatures to come out of the shadows and expose themselves. All the way from Sam Smith looking like he's humiliating himself, looking like a hilarious piece of nonsense. Oh boy, these artists who signed away their souls, man, they must be really kicking themselves now that the devil's come and saying that you have to pay the piper. Now it's time for you to, Christina Aguilera, put on that dildo and start dancing in front of these kids. Sam Harris, I want you to put these pasties on and dance for everybody. Who's next? Kid Cudi, put on a dress and dance around people. I don't know what's going to happen to Avril Lavigne or if it's happened already, but I fell in love with the Devil That song. Boy, every one of these artists have made some sort of a devil revering song at some point. Queen Latifah, you got to sit in the audience when all that satanic nonsense is going on. You're in your lesbian ass. And then I went, whatever. Just joking. But yeah, all these artists, all these people, Little Nas X coming out, wolf in sheep clothing, para, full on Satanism. Whoa, where did this come from? We all like that No Low Road up. Sorry. I forgot the name of the song after all. He's gone and blasted away with his antics. Low Town Road, whatever. That song he made, this debut piece, and the next thing you know, boom, Satanism, blood in sneakers. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, and you know what winds us up the most? Us reactors as well. I mean, I'm a guy who can stand on my own. I was better than people in the comment section during the whole 2019-2020 nonsense. Is when you want to call this stuff out and people come in your comments saying homophobic. You know, that card's been played out. You're not calling me names, SJWs. You remember me? I ain't here to fan any SJW flames trying to win every argument by calling your names, only to espouse the hatred that they claim to disdain. Anyway, yeah, I'm not taking it anymore. I don't care what you want to call me. You ain't shaming me anymore. You're outstage. You're welcome. And you finally awoken if you want to talk about dragons here, the sleeping dragon in the conservatives. You finally awakened us, man. I don't want to use that term dragon, but hey, dragons are cool sometimes. We've had enough. We've had enough of all this stuff. It's been, I'm teaching an English lesson. I just was reading this piece about Japan. Apparently, they've ruled the ban on gay marriages as unconstitutional. I want to read that. I didn't finish reading the article. I just want to get into it. But Japan, this is one country where, even though you've got some bizarre, they still have masks for people. I mean, the government says you don't have to do it anymore, but people are still effed up in their heads. Kids having them on in schools. There's no bloody reason to do that. They're effing up their next generation, and they're just too weak to just take a stance around here. But they still have the other things that they champion, such as respecting the sanctity of marriage between men and women exclusively. But now they're trying to push back on that. Boy, oh boy. When this thing, I think I'm just looking forward, at the time of this video, looking forward to the day when we can say Trump back in office in 2024. But in fact, I'm not even going to say, I'm not looking to it as in the future. I see it as already having happened. I'm just looking forward to that retribution. And let me tell you something, even if you're dealing with the situation of Trump not being there for some reason, we're all waking up right now. This is why the whole movement has been not based on Trump getting in there and just firing off shots and getting the deep state to run for cover. But it's about exposing the evil and waking up the people to take back the world. This is about us. Trump represents us right now. what he's doing through his populism. And that is why we're voting for him. It's not even about Trump. Even if Trump wasn't there, we've had enough. We finally put the target back where it belongs, back on these nutcases. Anyway, people, I'm getting close to the end, and I'll give my final commentary there. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Uh-oh.
I know they love the devil. They do. We need another shovel. We finna bury them. And we finna carry them out. I got the target on target. 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 I know they love the devil. We need another shovel. We do. We finna bury them. And we finna carry them out now.
You know what's clever about this? I mean, coming from the left in the first place, naturally Loza's got that left-leaning inclination to effectively go on a cancelling spree, if you will. But that's right. The right wing is kind of keeping this sane. We're not even trying to bully and harass people like they do on the left. We're just not shopping there because we don't care for their stuff. Certain politicians are trying to call us economic terrorists, or just for exercising our right to not shop where we don't want to shop. You can't force us anymore. We finally figured out how to take you out of these boycotts. Boy, oh boy, they're going to pick up steam. Boy, oh boy, I'm so happy to witness this finally. See, this is the kind of thing that David Icke wouldn't be able to achieve through his just do not comply. Do not comply is not enough. We have to do not comply to the point of actually actively doing unsubscribing. That's what we're trying to say. David Icke, again, saying do not comply when they're trying to force you to do things is essentially like saying, for some of us, subscribe, but just don't watch the videos, which is what I kind of have done with David Icke's videos recently. And I respect David Icke for what he's brought out, but he's just not got enough. We need to go a step further and combat them through peace. And all we need to do is withdraw our investment in their stock. But not just that. That's not it. Not just it. That's the thing. This is the folly of the David Icke kind of action, from my last call at least. It's not to boycott there, but we got to build up a parallel economy. This is again what David Icke is not interested in. He's just interested in pointing things out, being the good little conspiracy researcher in the background, and telling you what's dangerous. But he has no actual pragmatic solution for an alternative, which is what got me in trouble when I was there is no COVID-19 thing. Which to be honest with you, I'm going to be real with you right now. I can't be sure of them. That is to say, I actually do believe them. That's my belief. That's my right to believe it. But absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So that is to say, this information war we're in is so cunning. Excuse me. That just because you have people who have not proven it exists in isolation through this whole thing that they're rushed out right now, it does not mean that there was not something in that shop. You know, it doesn't mean that something isn't there to throw out there all of a sudden and to say that's what we were talking about, even though the whole thing was a big bait and switch to push people into getting the shot. You know, so be smarter than that. We don't just want to point out the negatives. We've got to point out what to do in contrast. That is to say, even if there is, I'm still not taking the stuff that is trying to push on me. That's smarter. Because why? Because I believe in freedom, the truth. Set me free. I don't believe this whole thing's being pushed on me. And if it took David Icke's rhetoric in the first place to wake me up, I'd really much appreciate him for that. And I always respect him, revere him for that, and thank him. But going a step further, you don't just want to be on the I say nay train. You want to be on the parallel economy train, which is where I want to end the video on. I just want to let this thing ring out, and then I'll give my final comments. Alright, these pistol toting things. That's excellent, Loza. Alright, so here's what I want to say. I was saving to the end. The whole civil war thing that Tim Pool is trying to push, saying, but certain people on the right are going to get so infused, they're going to try and, maybe one. I mean, I'm not saying he's necessarily saying this, but somebody may just want to take the streets and say enough is enough. I don't think that's what Tim Pool is actually pushing for. I think he's saying that people on the left are going to try and get physical with people on the right. People on the right are going to try and defend themselves. It's going to be a big old punch out in the street. That's not necessarily what's going to happen, and I don't think Tim Pool understands. The deep state would love that because the deep state wants war. We've been so patient on the right. Why do you think we're not doing that? Because we know that we're peace-loving people, we're blessed peacemakers. We're not interested in saying that I'm right, you don't have a right to live. That's what's happening on the left. We finally found our voice, and we're just not subscribing. Just choose differently. Now, here's the thing: the way the whole thing is shaping up right now, the deep state, especially with Bill Gates having bought up all the farmland and all these crops, these animals being killed off, stop being killed off, as though there's nothing we can do about it. This is pathetic. You can imagine that. This is what I can imagine. I can imagine deep state thinking, you know what we should do? Let's push pride on all the companies, and then we'll force the right to boycott everything until they can't sustain their boycotts anymore because they've got to eat from somewhere. The people on the right, I think, are prepared for that. We're thinking, even if you want to do that, we got our own food. Now, then the government may come by and say, listen, it's illegal to have your own chickens. They're spreading chicken pox, They're going to come and shoot up all your chickens. That's not right. People on the right say, oh, no, you don't. And that's when the guns come out, which is within our right, which would be within our rights to exercise. By the time that happens, or should that happen, in that contingency, normies will have woken up and said, you know what, government, we're not supporting you doing this. What you need to stop this madness, but again, the whole point of this is the whole point of this thing being dragged out is a deliberate effort at masterminding from the Patriots to actually bring the deep state out of their shadows. They've been hiding in the background, riding this whole thing out, waiting for people to lose their cool. Oh, sorry, what am I trying to say? The Patriots are waiting for the deep state to lose their cool and reveal more of their dastardly ways. You won't be getting information about Hunter Biden's laptop. Deep state were in control. You wouldn't be you wouldn't be seeing these celebrities pushing Satanism so damn hard to all the artists who just wanted to come and entertain, share their talents with the world. Now they're being forced to come out on stage wearing all sorts of hilariously humiliating get-up, promoting Satanism right in your face. Artists who probably would have wanted nothing to do with this. They find that the contract that they signed bound them to perform in certain debaucherous ways. All this stuff is us waking normies up to what's been hiding behind the scenes and turning them off to it. And that, every time the deep state tries to force their disgusting agenda out on people more and more, they wake up normies, and normies coming to the right more and more. It's not just about right and left, for that matter. It's just waking up, and as Trump says, they're waking up to common sense. So finally, excuse me, I almost lost my train of thought. I did lose my train of thought as it goes. Well, okay. I was going to say something along the lines of the notion that we're going to start coming to blows with each other over our disagreements is not so. I remember what I was going to say. What we need is some brave police officers who actually, not just police officers, civil servants who feel that they have to do what they do because, listen, man, I know it's like in the civil service world. I have family and loved ones who've been there and have had to just do what their jobs are because their superiors have said so. You need brave people. When you see a police officer, so you need brave people to stand up against the tyranny. When you see a police officer getting arrested over, when you see a pastor getting arrested over protesting, as Jim would bring up, the pride parades, exercising their First Amendment right, freedom of religion, and so on. When you see a police officer doing that, acting most Nazi-ish, you can't just say they're just doing their job anymore. They're not even doing their job. They're serving some other agenda. It's a bit like the so-called Jan 6 insurrection, which was just loaded with feds. All this, when you catch all of this going on, you need to say, aren't any of you cops going to show any backbone? Who the hell are these cops? I understand they're trying to keep society at bay before they think the society is just going to turn the place into complete anarchy and chaos. You need to see some common sense amongst these officers. There's a way to contain actual riots, actual uh, anarchy, whilst preserving people's rights in the process. You don't act like tyrants on people. I understand people. Some people back the blue to the point where they support the blue assaulting people just to get their job done. That's not always. That's not an act that I think we ought to always champion. Excuse me. This is why I'm grateful for body cams. I understand somebody said that Obama actually put body cams on cops. If that's the case, that's one thing I've got to thank Obama for. But if you're dealing with a situation where we have the right to do what the police can do, we can carry American citizens can carry weapons to defend themselves, and the cops can as well. That's absolutely understandable. But when you're dealing with you do what I say because I'm an authority, you're not. That's when you get more anarchy. People saying this is injustice, and if civil servants aren't going to respect the actual laws, militias will overtake them. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to have people with guts. Just because certain creeps in the government, or I understand some people are blackmailed, but that needs to be investigated too. But anyway, just because some creeps in higher positions in the civil service are telling civil servants to break the law to do their jobs and keep their employment and so on, doesn't mean that these civil servants ought to give in. If all these people, it's a bit like, have you seen Animal Farm? Sorry, I'm going off on a rant, people, but without the attack dogs, Napoleon had no power over his unfortunate subjects. But people, that's just me. I'm just saying, in a nutshell. Sorry for just listening to my rant. It's been a while since I've done reactions, so I just want to get it all off my chest. Beware of being baited into certain positions that you don't hold. We're not trying to literally blast anyone down. This is metaphorically speaking. We're taking things out through boycotts. It's actually a peaceful protest, an effective peaceful protest that we are championing here. And that all being said, people, just keep keep your head in a swivel, as Salty Cracker would say, and beware of agendas that are being forced down people's throats. We don't have to play along. We have alternative economies that we're building up, parallel economies. I propose that we subscribe to those and unsubscribe from these like Target and so on. Let me know what you think, people. Thank you for listening to my long spiel. That was one hell of a long-winded reaction, wasn't it? All right. Catch you next time. We out.